Your inner greatness. Achieving goals and objectives. Chapter 1. You have greatness within you. Virtually everyone has dreams and desires within them that they would like to achieve, but many wonder if they have the ability to achieve those dreams and desires. They lack confidence in themselves and their abilities to believe that their dreams and desires are achievable. They tend to think that their dreams and desires are just fantasies that cannot realistically be achieved. To achieve your dreams and desires, you must realize that you have the ability to achieve them. You have the greatness within you to achieve those dreams and desires. Everyone is capable of achieving great things and accomplishments, but many times in our society we are held back by one or more obstacles that prevent us from realizing this ability. The obstacles can be varied. One of them is that we are instilled from a very young age with the limiting belief that we can only reach a certain level in our lives. It may be that, if we come from a poor family with very limited means and resources, we may not be able to get enough education and/or enough opportunities to rise out of poverty to a higher status of wealth. Our family has been poor for so long and our opportunities so limited that we simply come to accept the fact that we cannot get out of that status and must continue to maintain it. Another obstacle is that our family has had many people who have entered a specific field, and due to pressure from family members, we may feel that we have to enter that specific field as well, even though our true talents and greatness may lie within another field or occupation. If all members of a family have entered the military, a family member who does not feel it is in his or her best interest may try to follow in his or her family's footsteps and attempt a career in the military because other family members have done so successfully. To do otherwise may be considered an offense to the family or be seen as turning one's back on the family, even if that person's best talents and greatness lie in a career outside the military. It is obstacles like these that often prevent people from finding the true greatness within them, leading them to choose paths that they manage to do well enough, but that don't really fulfill or satisfy them as another career or life might do for them. That's unfortunate, as our true greatness will lead us to the skills and career paths that fulfill us in terms of what we want to do with our lives and be able to make the biggest difference in the world that we can. Fortunately, we don't have to be bound by these obstacles, and we definitely shouldn't if we want to find our true greatness and achieve the greatest success and accomplishments in our lives. As human beings, we are best able to do our best work when we do something that inspires us, that truly motivates us to do our best work. Too often, in our society today, many people limit themselves to performing the tasks required by their occupation, just to get a paycheck that allows them to pay their bills, support their families, and keep a roof over their heads. In reality, many of these people are not satisfied with their current occupations, but they tolerate and endure them because they are skilled enough in the jobs for companies to keep them. The wages paid are high enough to maintain a decent or better quality of life, and the situation is better than having no job at all. However, in reality, many people are unfulfilled and are not tapping into the greatness within them because they have not found their true calling and the occupation or tasks where their best skills and passions lie. Therefore, it is important that we take the time and effort to try many activities and challenges in our lives to discover where our true skills and interests lie. This is often the easiest thing to do in school and the reason why many college freshmen take their time to try many courses in an effort to determine what interests them and what they are good at. That's why they often don't declare a major until the end of their sophomore year, although some intensive career choices, such as business or medicine, may require them to declare at the end of their freshman year. However, if you're not a student, i.e., you're older than a student, that doesn't mean you can't take on new challenges and activities to see if your best skills and greatest interests lie elsewhere than what you're currently doing with your life. For example, you can volunteer for various charities that involve tasks and challenges that are outside of your comfort zone, what you are most used to doing. For example, if you are in the business world, as an accountant, marketer or chief executive officer, CEO, volunteering to help the homeless will likely involve different skills and attributes than what you would normally do in your day-to-day occupation. For example, you may cook food, carry supplies, and build houses, tasks you would not do in accounting, marketing, or business management. Volunteering can help add new skills to your profile, as well as give you insight into you as a person and help you discover if you can have a greater impact on our world in other ways. Find your true greatness within yourself and use it to help the world, and yourself as well. Many people are afraid to step out of their comfort zone and push themselves to do other things. One reason is that they simply don't like to feel uncomfortable. As human beings, we like comfort and we like things that are familiar to us. We tend to avoid unfamiliar situations, partly out of natural instinct and partly out of fear of the unknown. Another reason is that we are afraid of performing poorly on new tasks and challenges that we sign up for or volunteer for, and as human beings, we are often afraid of performing poorly on tasks, partly because we are afraid of being replaced by someone better in a work environment, and partly because we simply don't like to perform poorly on something, as it undermines our self-esteem and our self-confidence. A third reason is that if we perform poorly in front of others, we fear being ridiculed and or criticized for performing poorly in front of them. To find your greatness, you have to overcome these fears and hesitations. It is natural to feel these tendencies. Even some of the people who have achieved great accomplishments and achievements, i.e., found their greatness, have admitted that they have felt butterflies or apprehension when trying something new, performing in front of other people and or simply doing something different from what they are used to doing. However, they found the courage and desire to overcome these fears and push themselves to do these different tasks and activities in order to expand their skill set, learn more about themselves, and determine where their true greatness lies. The key point is, you can do this too. It is not limited to the successful or famous, as they were in a similar situation to you now, just seeking their calling or greatness to help enrich their lives and allow them to provide the most value to the world. You have to remember that no one is good at every activity they do. Most people need time to master a new skill or learn a new activity effectively. Therefore, you should not feel as if you are out of place or deficient for trying something new. In fact, you should be commended for doing something unusual and out of your ordinary routine, because many people don't even bother to do it, and so often don't find its greatness. Also, if people ridicule or criticize you for trying and learning a new skill, it reflects poorly on them, not on you. You are trying to better yourself to have a more enriching life and make a better contribution to the world, both of which are commendable. Most people are likely to welcome your effort to learn something new and improve yourself, rather than ridicule and criticize you for trying to learn something new and not doing it well at first. Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers says that to become an expert in something you have to devote a minimum of 10,000 hours, i.e., 20 hours a day over a 10-year period, of concentration and practice to that subject. Very few people achieve that status, so this is another reason why you should not let the criticisms of a few people dissuade you from trying something new, as those people may well not be experts by that definition. Furthermore, even experts by that definition don't know everything, as they can always learn something new about their field of study as well, so these facts should reassure you in your effort to try new challenges and activities in an effort to expand your skill set, increase your self-awareness and capabilities, and find the greatness within you. As you try new activities and tasks, you should gain a better understanding of who you are as a person and what drives or inspires you to increase your effort to do the best work possible. First, you should know your strengths and weaknesses, what you do well and what you struggle with. This will give you a better indication of the tasks, occupations you want to work on to achieve your inner greatness. Secondly, you will learn more about what inspires you to achieve greatness. What causes or goals do you want to achieve with your skill set that will drive you to take those extra steps to achieve them? This will also lead you to discover what you should do to achieve your inner greatness that will lead to a more fulfilling life and greater contribution to the world. Third, you will learn how to deal with adversity and setbacks by trying new activities and challenges. Life is often full of them. By dealing with adversity and setbacks during a new challenge or activity, you will learn the skills and attributes necessary to handle more challenging setbacks in life, such as the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, or even the loss of your home due to some disaster, fire, tornado, hurricane, flood, etc. When you voluntarily expose yourself to try something new and don't do it very well, you have to face the unfamiliar and uncomfortable situation of not doing something well when you normally do your usual tasks well. This says a lot about your character and your willingness to improve your skill set and your effort to find your inner greatness, what you are really meant to do to make the greatest positive contributions to this world. Also keep in mind that no one is born great, you have to work to bring out that greatness within you. While some people discover what they are most capable of doing and what they like to do at a young age, many people don't really discover what they are best at and what they like to do most until they are older. This is why many people in their 40s, 50s and even 60s change careers and embark on a new path in life, seeking a happier and more fulfilling way of life that brings more positive contributions to their world. Many times, this is due to some activity they have been involved in on the side, such as volunteering for a cause like the environment, or volunteering in their hometown and enjoying talking to people and helping those in need, etc. That's why it's important to always broaden your horizons and take on new tasks and activities. You never know when one of those tasks or activities will open your eyes to a new path in your life that can enrich you further and lead you to make greater contributions to the world. It can lead you to find your true inner greatness that is within you, waiting to be discovered and utilized to the fullest. Therefore, all people have greatness within themselves, but it is often difficult to discover what that greatness is and how it will manifest itself to make the greatest contributions to our world. Many times it is due to limitations that we ourselves and/or our society impose on us, such as not believing that we can change our status in the world or not wanting to do something different from what other family members have done. It is also due to our own fear of trying new activities and tasks, partly because we don't like to do something unfamiliar to us for fear of the embarrassment of not doing it well, plus the fear of being ridiculed by others for not doing that new task well. In reality, when we allow ourselves to be tied to our lives out of fear and avoid trying new tasks, challenges, we are limiting our own greatness because we will never know where our true talents lie and where our greatest passions and interests lie. We may do our current tasks and occupations well enough to earn a paycheck, support our families, and put a roof over our heads, but those tasks and occupations may not give us the emotional and mental satisfaction we really want from life, plus they may not give us the opportunity to showcase the greatness we really have within ourselves, including the opportunity to provide our best contributions to the world. That is why we should always strive to try new activities and tasks in an effort to expand our skill set, to learn from the failures and difficulties of undertaking the new activity or task, to learn where our strengths and interests lie, and to grow as a person. No one person knows everything, even experts in a field of study do not know everything. To truly achieve our greatness and full potential as human beings, we must always be willing to grow, to try new activities or tasks and to learn from the experiences we encounter, including the mistakes we make. Limiting ourselves to doing the same old mundane and habitual tasks will limit our potential and our greatness as individuals, as we will never know if we were capable of doing another task or occupation better, making better contributions to the world and receiving the richest satisfaction from our work. Chapter 2: Overcoming Your Limiting Beliefs. Virtually everyone wants to achieve the greatness for which they are destined or made. They want to be great at their chosen activities, tasks or occupations. Not only do they want to be able to do the job, but they want to be so good at it that they achieve their goals, i.e., money, fame, recognition, etc., be recognized by others, and help make positive contributions to the world. Unfortunately, many people never achieve the greatness they are destined for or made for because of limiting beliefs that make them believe they cannot achieve this greatness, or that they believe they are not worthy enough, or that they do not deserve to have this greatness. Many people believe that they cannot achieve the greatness they want to achieve because they do not have the capacity to achieve this greatness. They believe that they are somehow deficient or lacking in some quality or qualities that will enable them to achieve this greatness. They believe that they have to have these special qualities to achieve the greatness they want to achieve in life. They believe that people who have achieved this greatness and their best potential had some special ability or insight that enabled them to achieve this greatness or best potential. The truth is that the people who achieved this greatness or better potential had no special ability or vision to reach that level of greatness or potential. All they did was overcome any doubts or limiting beliefs they had and push themselves toward that greatness that was destined or intended for them. They simply put in the hard and continuous work necessary to achieve it, even when it seemed they had fallen short or could not achieve it. That is the only thing different between people who have achieved that greatness or potential and those who have not. People who achieve greatness are not deterred by others who tell them that they can only reach a certain level and that they have to make do with what they have in life. They are not deterred by setbacks or failures, factors that prevent many people from pursuing their dreams and achieving their greatness because they believe that failures are a sign that something cannot be done. People who achieve greatness continue to strive for it even when they seem to have little or no chance of achieving it. This is what allows them to attain that greatness, while others fall short. Another limiting belief of people who do not achieve their greatness is the belief that they are not worthy or deserving enough to achieve that greatness. They believe that they are not a good enough person or that they should not have that recognition, praise and success because they are not worthy enough to receive it. This can often come from a childhood upbringing where you appreciate what you have, you don't seek fame or fortune, and you make do with what you have and are satisfied with it. Such an upbringing, even if it teaches humility, can limit a person's desires and dreams to find that greatness and achieve all they can in life because they think it is bad or undesirable to have the drive to achieve all they can and be the best and greatest they can be. Although parents or grandparents who employ this philosophy in their children or grandchildren often do so with the best of intentions, it unfortunately limits their perspective and mindset to believe that they should only get a decent job, work hard for their families and appreciate what they have. They never really consider that they could have more and should have more if they were willing to keep fighting for their dreams and desires, to really work hard to find the greatness within them and achieve all that they can achieve, both to better their own lives and the world at large. The truth is that it's not a bad thing to want to reach the highest potential you are capable of achieving, wanting to reach for that inner greatness within you, both to help yourself, a family, and the world utilize your best gifts and strive your best is something to strive for, something that really exalts your appreciation for life and the opportunity you have been given to make a better life for yourself and a better world for everyone. The fact that you receive money and recognition for doing those things and striving to reach your best potential should not be seen as a negative thing, as you need money to survive and thrive in this world, and also receiving recognition for a well-managed job, career and life should not be seen as a bad thing. To overcome your limiting beliefs, you need to have appreciation for yourself and feel that you have self-esteem. In other words, you need to appreciate yourself and the skills you bring to the table, as well as realize that you deserve to improve and are worth achieving as much as you can for as long as you live. You need to have confidence in your own abilities and have confidence in the fact that you deserve to improve and make the best contributions to this world as you can. Improving yourself and making the world a better place should never be seen as a bad or undesirable thing. On the contrary, improving yourself to your best potential and having a positive impact on the world at large that benefits humanity, all other life forms and the environment should be considered a worthy goal and one that you should be encouraged to undertake with all your intensity, focus and determination. Many of humanity's greatest inventions would never have come into existence if people were not willing to overcome their doubts and limiting beliefs, even when ridiculed or questioned for attempting to create something extraordinary or remarkable for humanity. Inventions such as the light bulb, the telephone or the automobile, among others, would not have come about if their inventors had lost hope because the process of achieving them was difficult or because other people doubted that they could do it. Even learning about the world in general, such as physics, and explaining the workings of specific aspects of life, such as gravity, often requires a lot of work and overcoming challenges and doubts in order to achieve them. The theories and explanations did not let limiting beliefs get in the way of finding the answers to build the devices and theories that are used in the world today. Building these devices and theories was not easy, and there were many skeptics along the way to the point that the inventors could have given up, but they didn't, and what happened? They were recognized for their inventions or revelations, received fame, and often fortune as well, and the world benefited as a whole. This process has been going on practically since the beginning of mankind on Earth. Even the cavemen who roamed the earth thousands of years ago were eager to be better, to improve the lives of those around them. They went from living in caves to building huts, to building better weapons to be able to hunt better and thus survive better. The innate instinct of human beings is to always strive to become better than we are today. Striving to be better, to improve ourselves and to achieve greatness is part of our genetic makeup. There is no reason to think that it is wrong to achieve more and be better than we are, especially when others are likely to benefit from our achievements and accomplishments as well. Therefore, you need to have the belief that you are worthy of achieving great accomplishments in your life, as well as believing that you have the ability to achieve these accomplishments. You need to realize that people who have already achieved and are achieving their greatness are not better than you, nor do they have more courage than you to achieve greatness. You just have to strive for that greatness and continue to do so despite the setbacks and doubts you encounter, just like those who have achieved and are achieving greatness. One way to help overcome these limiting beliefs is to view the idea of self-improvement as a personal challenge. Turn the idea of self-improvement into a game and see how much you can improve. The time you have is your life to see how much you can improve. The goal is to set goals that you want to achieve in your life. The reward for doing a good job of improving yourself is the satisfaction of achieving the goals you set and receiving recognition from others for achieving them. Money and other benefits, such as promotions and awards, are bonus items or perks that you will receive as you continue to meet the goals and accumulate the achievements you complete. Another way to help overcome your limiting beliefs is to ask yourself how you are different from other people. Why are they valued more than you, and why do they deserve to succeed and you don't? Why are they better than you? By asking yourself these questions, you should realize that these people are not really different from you. They are human beings, with a heart, a brain, arms and legs, hair and other characteristics found in humans. They have the same mental structure and capacity as you. Therefore, you must realize that they are no different than you and, therefore, have no more right or benefit to be more successful than you. Therefore, you too have the right to achieve the greatest success for yourself and the ability to find your inner greatness that can benefit yourself and the world, just as they have done and are doing. All you have to do is apply the same drive and persistence that they have to experience similar success as they are experiencing. Another way to overcome your limiting beliefs is to ask yourself if improving the world for others is a worthy cause. Most people would say yes. Most people would see that helping their fellow man enjoy a better life because of your contributions to society is a worthy cause and worth pursuing. Most people would not see helping others as selfish or as an unworthy cause, as helping others is considered a positive contribution in many cultures, societies and religions throughout history, including today. This is one more reason and impetus you need to convince yourself that improving yourself and your skill set is a worthy and noble goal to improve your contributions to society at large so that other people can benefit. The same process above can also be applied to the other life forms on Earth, as well as the environment. Would most consider making the Earth a better place for animals and plants a worthy cause to pursue? Most would. Would most consider making Earth's environment better for all life on Earth now and for generations to come a worthy cause to pursue? Most would. Your desire and effort to improve yourself in an effort to improve the environment to benefit all life on Earth now and for generations to come should provide you with the drive you need to strive for your own greatness and achieve all the goals you can to improve the environment and make life better for all on Earth, both now and in the future. Therefore, you have learned that limiting beliefs center on the ideas that people either cannot achieve their greatness because they lack something that others who have achieved greatness possess, or people cannot achieve their greatness because it is undesirable or because they are not worthy of doing so. People who believe that they cannot achieve greatness because they lack something that others who have achieved greatness possess. However, if you look at it rationally and really think about it, these people are no different than you. They are not smarter, or faster, or have some advanced skill that you don't have. All they had was a persistent desire to keep improving and striving for their goals and objectives, even when others doubted them and/or obstacles appeared that stood in their way. Therefore, to overcome that limiting belief, you have to have confidence in your own abilities and acquire a persistent desire to always strive for your goals, even when it seems like the whole world is against you. Don't fall into the trap of, well, the universe is telling me I shouldn't have this, or the universe is telling me that my goal is impossible to achieve. Most great goals are not so easy to achieve, but that doesn't mean they can't be achieved. After all, if the inventor of the telephone and the light bulb had been guided by that limiting philosophy when he experienced challenges and detractors, we would not have those items today, and life on Earth would be very different and more challenging for humanity. The second main limiting belief is that people think they are not worthy of achieving the greatness they can have and/or that it is not desirable to achieve because they were taught to appreciate what they have and to settle for what is appropriate or what they can get by with. While that philosophy may help people to be humble, it also limits their potential to be all they can be, to achieve that greatness they can achieve if they strive for it. It is important to realize that striving for greatness and achieving all that you can be not only benefits you, but often also benefits the rest of humanity, as well as other life forms on Earth and even the Earth itself. Inventions, ideas and work, such as social work, volunteer work, conservation work, etc., have helped preserve human life, animal life, plant life and the environment on Earth. These are all worthy goals that most would approve of working for. It should not be considered bad to work towards these goals, nor should it be considered unworthy or undeserving to work hard to improve and be all that you can be. Working to improve is part of our culture and our DNA. The caveman and early humans kept progressing to improve themselves and their society's way of life. Thus they improved their way of living, hunting, communicating with each other, etc. Without working to improve themselves, the human race would never have evolved to the state it is in today. Therefore, if those humans were willing and able to improve themselves to improve the lives of all those around them, is it not also a worthy goal for us to do the same? Do we not also have the same and even better capabilities than they did, better resources than they did, to achieve our greatness and reach the goals we desire, to improve humanity as they did? You know what the answer is, and that is why you know that you are certainly worthy and capable of overcoming your limiting beliefs and achieving the greatness that is in you. Chapter 3: How to Develop Self-Knowledge. Self-awareness is defined as the ability to perceive aspects of our personality, behavior, emotions, motivations and thought process without self-criticism. In other words, it is our ability to recognize ourselves without judging ourselves negatively. Some define awareness as paying attention, which means that self-awareness is the ability to pay attention to ourselves and know what we are about. Self-awareness is a fundamental skill to develop, but it is not usually a skill that schools focus on. Most children or adolescents don't even realize what it is until they reach adulthood, although they do experience some self-awareness when they join activities, select classes and even careers when they attend middle school, high school and college. However, most children, and even adolescents, are not entirely sure who they are, what drives them, what they stand for, and what they really care about. They don't really know these qualities until they get to college and even beyond college, when they go out into the job market for the first time, get their first real place to live and really set out on their own path and life. As mentioned earlier, children and adolescents gain some sense of self-awareness as they progress through middle school, high school and college. They gain a sense of self-awareness based on their own behaviors, the punctuality with which they attend classes and appointments, the friends they associate with, the subjects and courses that really interest them versus those that don't, the extracurricular activities they choose to participate in, the types of jobs they take to earn extra money and save for college, the types of colleges they apply to, etc. Essentially, they get a sense of how studious they are, how well educated they are, what drives them to succeed, what interests them, what they care about, the people they care about, what they like to think about and do in their free time, what they want to wear, how they want to wear their hair, and much more. However, true introspection for most people doesn't really take place until they are in college, assuming they attend, and after they graduate from college. They begin to figure out what causes they really care about, what issues in the world they care about, what they really stand for, what they want their housing to look like and represent, what organizations they want to be a part of, including fraternities, sororities, and extracurricular organizations, etc., what people they want to associate with, what people they really care about, what those important people think of them, etc. This continues after college in terms of what occupations they have, what people they associate with, what partner they join, what kind of car they drive, what organizations and causes they join, what neighborhood they eventually move to, how they behave in their personal relationships and with their future children, etc. All of this says something about them. If they are truly aware of what these characteristics say about them, then they are self-aware. Self-awareness is being aware of what a person is really like. It is not what she perceives herself to be if that perception is actually false, what some call a self-image. For example, if a person sees him/herself as punctual, but is often late for appointments and/or meetings, this is a self-image that is not true, it is not self-awareness. Another example is if the person sees herself as a leader, but in reality she lets others lead her and she follows. Again, this is a self-image, not self-awareness. So, self-awareness is really paying attention and recognizing who you are, what you stand for, and so on. It is important to develop self-awareness and to really know who you are in order to achieve the greatness that you are capable of. The only way to achieve this is to know who you are and what you stand for so that you can perform tasks and occupations that allow you to focus your energy and efforts on matters that you believe in and that mean something to you. These issues differ for each person. One will care about something to do with their own family, another something to do with their career, a third something to do with the environment and nature. There is no right or supreme answer for everyone. It all varies depending on who you are as a person, and recognizing the differences and knowing what you stand for and who you are is self-awareness. Developing self-awareness and really knowing who you are requires an effort and commitment to really listen to your feelings, emotions, and find the truth about yourself. As already stated, it is not about your self-image, what you think you are. Self-awareness is really knowing who you are and what you stand for and believe. First of all, you have to be aware of your true emotions, how you really feel about specific decisions and how you are living your life. Are you really living according to your own emotions, or are you trying to live according to someone else's standards, including your partner, your children, your parents, etc., and rationalizing it as if it is what you really want and believe? Really examine your feelings, what some call exploring your gut, and see if they align with what you are doing. How do you really feel about the way your life is going, what you are doing, how you present yourself to others, etc.? Are you really happy, or are your gut and your chest giving you signals that you are not happy with what you are doing and how you present yourself to others because you are not true to what you stand for? For example, if you wear the latest fashion trends because everyone else does, but you prefer the simple casual style when you are not working, that would be not living in accordance with your own beliefs, your own emotions, but rationalizing that it is better to wear similar clothes to what everyone else is wearing. Really recognize how you feel about what you are doing in life. Secondly, you should keep track of your feelings. It is advisable to take notes of how you feel positively and negatively over the course of several days or even weeks. You can do this in a notebook, in a journal, in a text file or spreadsheet, and so on. In this way, you will be able to detect patterns and trends in your feelings. This will allow you to better define what really drives you, what inspires you, what you stand for, and the fears or limitations that prevent you from doing the work you've always wanted to do and reaching your highest potential. Third, you need to monitor the areas of your life where you believe you can have the greatest impact in designing the lifestyle you really want to have. You also need to monitor your energy throughout the day, taking note of the periods when you have the highest energy levels. This means the periods when you are most focused, have the most energy, and have the ability to do your best work. An additional benefit of tracking your energy will be that it will give you information about what motivates you and what depletes or depresses you. It also helps to meditate regularly. This can be a formal meditation where you focus on your breathing, but it can be as simple as taking a few moments a day to stop what you are doing, relax, close your eyes and breathe quietly for a few minutes. Reviewing your day and what you do each day can also help you become more self-aware. Take some time to ask yourself some questions. Some of the questions you can ask yourself are: what do you want to achieve in life? How are you trying to achieve these goals? What tasks help you achieve these goals? What tasks are holding you back? How can you change the tasks that aren't working to help you achieve your goals? Performing mundane tasks that do not require great concentration, such as regular household chores, can also be a great way to relax and unwind from the daily hustle and bustle of your occupation. As you go about the routine of washing and folding laundry, mopping the floor, clearing the table, doing the dishes, etc., your mind can unconsciously think about how your life is progressing, how you feel about your progress, and what you can do to improve your progress, especially if you are uncomfortable with that progress. There are many successful people who write down their key plans and priorities to see if they are making progress on their goals, if they are getting lucky and/or if they are not improving on progress toward their own goals. Noted billionaire and investor Warren Buffett writes an entry in his journal detailing why he invests in a particular company. He can then go back later and review the reasons he invested in the company to see if the future performance of that company's stock can be attributed to the good judgment he exhibited or if it was just luck that led to his good fortune. Another prominent person who self-evaluated over the years is respected investor Li Lu. Like Benjamin Franklin before him, he kept a balance sheet of the assets and liabilities of his personal traits. Whenever he felt he could learn a new strength from another person to add to his profile, he would add it to his assets, while the liabilities were the weaknesses he saw in himself. He could then assess the net worth of his character over time to see if he was growing as an individual or if he was falling short of the person he wanted to be. Another way to become more self-aware is to take a psychometric test, such as the Myers-Briggs or the Predictive Index. Most psychometric tests are based on the fact that there are no right or wrong answers, but rather a set of trait characteristics that more accurately describe a person versus others. One such test involves asking you whether you are more driven by action or passion, and whether your success is best described by instincts or analytics. Taking this type of test can help you take a better look at yourself, to see what drives you and what helps you define yourself as a person. Even in self-knowledge, it helps to get feedback from people other than ourselves to assess who we really are. This means turning to family, friends and colleagues and asking them to provide honest and objective assessments of who you are as a person, what they see and think when they look at you and when they analyze your life, your actions and your accomplishments. Encourage them to be honest, as they may be afraid to give you an honest assessment, as most likely not all of them will be positive and you may not like to hear some of them, but knowing what your weaknesses and flaws are can help you be aware of them and improve those areas to be a better person and become more of the person you want to be. In the workplace, having a good feedback system can help everyone become more aware of who they really are, what strengths they have, what weaknesses they have, and how to emphasize the strengths and address the weaknesses. Self-awareness is the key to doing your best work, and it is also the key to being a good leader. If you don't know who you are, what you stand for, and what your strengths and weaknesses are, you won't be sure how to act consistently, and people won't follow someone who isn't sure of themselves, as they look to a leader for guidance and reassurance by their actions and firm beliefs. Someone who is not self-aware will not provide the comfort and assurance that most people expect from a leader. As mentioned, self-awareness is defined as the ability to perceive aspects of our personality, behavior, emotions, motivations, and thought process without self-criticism. In other words, it is our ability to recognize ourselves without self-criticism. It is not what we want others to perceive us to be, what is known as self-image, but what we really are, how we act and what we represent that others see. Most people don't have an idea of their true self until they reach junior high school and college. Starting in junior high school, we begin to have some independence in terms of the courses we choose, the friends we associate with, the groups or organizations we want to belong to, the clothes and hairstyle we want to wear, etc. This continues into high school, where we can choose more courses, how we choose to manage our time through study halls, what types of first jobs we get, what clubs, organizations and causes we get involved in, etc. Then, as we enter college, we learn more about the problems of the world, what causes really inspire us, what career we want to pursue, what we want to do with the free time we have, how our housing is organized, etc. All these actions and experiences help us to define ourselves, help us to know what really inspires and motivates us to do our best work and have our best approach. We learn what really inspires us and that some of the inspiration we had at the beginning of our lives may have been due to our parents, our early teachers, our friends, etc. rather than coming from our own self. We learn what we want to become in life and what we want to represent to others. Being aware of your true feelings is the key to being self-aware. Some call it listening to your gut. Do you feel calm and happy about what you are doing in life? Or are you anxious and irritated because you are not satisfied with what you are doing? Paying attention to these feelings and really analyzing the actions you take in life will help you become aware of who you really are, what you stand for, and what you want your legacy to be, i.e., what you want your family, friends and colleagues to know and remember you for, both in life and when you are gone. Becoming self-aware can help you find the tasks and occupations that will allow you to employ your best skills, achieve your greatest goals, and feel truly satisfied with the actions you take in life, because you will truly be living as the person you want to be. Chapter 4: How to Increase Self-Esteem. Self-esteem is defined in psychology as a person's general sense of self-worth or personal value. It is often considered a personality trait and can involve a variety of beliefs about oneself, including one's beliefs, emotions, behaviors, and appearance. One definition of self-esteem states that there are three main components that make it up. It is an essential human need that is vital for normal, healthy survival and development. It arises automatically from within oneself from one's awareness and beliefs. It occurs along with a person's behaviors, feelings, thoughts and actions. Celebrated psychologist Abraham Maslow said that self-esteem is one of the basic human motivations, making it a key element in his hierarchy of needs. He said that esteem from other people and self-esteem are necessary for a person to grow as an individual and achieve self-actualization. There are many factors that can influence self-esteem. Genetic factors that can help shape personality can influence it, but often it is our experiences and environment that most influence our self-esteem. When we are in a positive environment and receive a lot of support from people, especially family, friends and peers, our self-esteem is likely to be much higher than if we are in a negative environment where we often hear criticism, insults and negative comments. Therefore, our environment and our experiences play a major role in what our self-esteem is like. Good or positive environments and experiences tend to raise our perception of ourselves and our capabilities, while bad or negative environments and experiences tend to lower our perception of ourselves and our capabilities. Human beings like to receive support and an environment that supports our actions and our thoughts. Therefore, we will usually be more efficient and more productive in an environment where we are supported and feel comfortable. For example, if you are in a work environment where your boss and colleagues encourage you to share your ideas and allow you to explore your creativity, you will be more likely to work harder and come up with better ideas and strategies to benefit the company. Conversely, if you find yourself in a work environment where your boss disdains suggestions and mocks you in front of your peers, who are jealous of you and talk behind your back, you will be less likely to be as focused and committed to the company, resulting in fewer innovative ideas and strategies. Self-esteem is critical for you to do your best work and is key to achieving the goals you want to achieve, as well as bringing out your inner greatness to the world. When you are backed by the support of the people around you, it encourages you to focus more, work harder, and do everything you can to succeed. When you are surrounded by people who look down on you and try to get in your way at all times, it can affect your self-esteem to the point where you start to doubt yourself and think you can't do the tasks you once thought you could do. Therefore, it is critical that you build your self-esteem and keep it at a high level throughout your life as much as possible. There will be times in your life when your self-esteem will not be as high as at other periods, a situation that occurs in almost everyone's life, even those who have a positive outlook on life, but it is important that you keep those low periods to a minimum and get your self-esteem back up as quickly as possible so that you can do your best work, achieve as many goals as possible and reach your best possible potential. Obviously, it helps if you grew up in an environment where your parents, step-parents, grandparents or other adults in your life were positive and always encouraged you to be confident in your abilities, try new activities and not judge you on your performance or appearance. In other words, they didn't criticize your performance regardless of how you did. If you tried out for the baseball or softball team and didn't make the team, they didn't look down on you for not making the team. On the contrary, those adults would tell you that you did your best, that it was nothing to be ashamed of, and that they were proud that you tried your best to make the team. This would probably encourage you to keep your head up, strive for other goals, and even try out for the team next season. This environment would help them try more activities and organizations in and out of school, try new hobbies, be willing to take courses that may be challenging but also give them an edge over others in their profiles when being considered for high schools and colleges, etc. So, if you are reading this and you are a parent, grandparent or guardian, pay attention to this information to make sure your children have that kind of supportive environment. Avoid criticizing them when they make mistakes, as everyone makes mistakes from time to time. Mistakes can be learning experiences that can improve them and their skills if you are on the right track when you see the mistakes. Don't focus on the negatives of making a mistake, analyze what the mistake consisted of, how the action was done incorrectly or improperly that led to the mistake, and then determine what action or actions need to be taken to prevent the mistake from happening again. This supportive environment will help your child grow and develop as a person and allow him, her to have a lot of self-esteem, which will serve him, her well in life. It will encourage him, her to have a lot of confidence in his, her own abilities and to be able to handle difficult situations and challenges so that his, her self-esteem remains high and he, she believes that the difficult situation or challenge can be handled by him, her. Now, if you did not grow up in a supportive environment, it is very likely that you have had self-esteem issues. You may have questioned your own abilities to handle certain situations. You may have been ridiculed for not doing something correctly because your parents, grandparents or other adults were always complaining and yelling at you for doing something wrong. They may have even said derogatory comments about your intelligence, your looks, your appearance, your manners, etc. When you hear derogatory comments like that over and over again, it can be very difficult to hold your head high and believe in your own abilities. Of course, supportive and unsupportive environments are not only at home, but also at school, in the workplace, at the gym, in various organizations, etc. Wherever you spend your time, these environments can contribute to strengthening or weakening your self-esteem. If you go to school and run into a group of students who don't like you for whatever reason, your clothes, your manners, your intelligence, etc., they may start picking you out of the crowd and making fun of you in front of others. They may try to ridicule you to embarrass you in front of others. Over time, this is going to weaken your self-esteem because you are always in an environment that makes fun of you, ridicules you and basically criticizes you for whatever reason they choose to mock and criticize you. It's hard to focus and put in the effort needed to do the tasks necessary to achieve your goals and your inner greatness if you are always being ridiculed and mocked for who and what you are. However, whether you have grown up in a supportive or unsupportive environment, or whether you, or your child, are dealing with a supportive or unsupportive environment, there is hope for raising your self-esteem to the level you need to reach in order to have the focus and confidence to achieve your goals and reach your inner greatness. There are several steps you can take to increase your self-esteem, become more self-confident, and increase your chances of achieving your goals and reaching your full potential. First, you need to have confidence in your own abilities. Reflect on what you have achieved and what you have done well. It could be a good job at school, building a project, helping others with problems, pretty much anything you have succeeded at and are proud of. Think about what it took for you to achieve that accomplishment, including the focus, determination, and effort it took to get there. This shows that you have the ability to do great things, that you have everything you need to succeed in life, to achieve your goals, to find your inner greatness, and to reach your full potential. You need to keep this in mind whenever you find yourself in an environment that beats you up and makes fun of you for who you are, what you stand for, and how you do things. This will help you maintain your self-esteem even in poor environments to increase self-esteem. Second, try to find a more supportive environment in which your self-esteem can rest and receive a boost from the corrosive environment in which you currently find yourself. If possible, try to remove yourself completely from that environment. This will go a long way toward boosting your self-esteem immediately. However, this is not always possible. For example, if your current occupation and workplace involve an environment where people are adversarial and do not try to encourage each other in terms of their ability and potential for work. If it is not possible to remove yourself completely from a corrosive and destructive environment, cope with the situation as best you can by staying focused on your work and ignoring the insults and taunts of others as much as possible. Try to take breaks during the day away from your co-workers and your boss, go for a walk, or even spend some time alone in the bathroom or cafeteria. Just about anywhere you can spend some time alone, collect your thoughts and gather strength to deal with the abusive environment. When your workday is over, go home and put on some relaxing music, put on some comfortable clothes, and enjoy your favorite activity. It can be reading, exercising, playing a mobile game, watching a movie, texting or calling your friends or family, talking to your partner or close friend, etc. If you talk to someone, you can tell them about your day, the good and the bad of it, and return the favor by listening to them talk about the day they had, and vent any frustrations or worries to them so you can get rid of the negativity in your environment and get your self-esteem back up. Exercising can also help you release negativity from your work environment and allow you to regain and increase your self-esteem. Yoga meditation can also help you purge negativity from your mind and thoughts and allow you to strengthen and increase your self-esteem. Ideally, you should move to a more supportive work and social environment so that you can be freer to express yourself as an individual and be supported in your efforts to achieve your goals and improve as a person. You really don't want to stay in a caustic and abusive environment for any longer than necessary. Many people who don't like their workplace claim that it can do far more damage mentally and emotionally than you think. They also say that it is not worth staying in such an environment, even for a high salary. They often say that it is worth being in a better work environment for a lower salary than staying in a caustic and abusive work environment for a higher salary, as the emotional and psychological cost of working in such an environment can take its toll on other aspects of your life, such as your mood, your health, your relationships with others, etc. Self-esteem is a person's overall sense of self-worth or personal value. When you have high self-esteem, you have a high sense of self-worth, feel worthy of your abilities, and are confident that you are capable of doing many great things in life. When you have low self-esteem, you have a low sense of self-worth, which makes you feel undervalued in your abilities and your ability to do things. You question yourself, your decision, and your own self-worth. You even question whether you are worthy enough to have a decent life, let alone a life full of possibilities and potential. In short, if you have low self-esteem, it will be difficult or impossible for you to achieve your inner greatness. Although self-esteem can be affected by genetics, the most common element that affects your self-esteem is your environment and the environment in which you find yourself. Specifically, it depends on your experiences and the people you often surround yourself with. When we are children, we are usually surrounded by parents, grandparents, other adults, and siblings, if any. If these people encourage us to try new things and don't criticize us for who we are, what we stand for, or when we make a mistake, those are the signs of a supportive environment that can help raise our self-esteem and make us feel good about ourselves and our abilities. Conversely, if those same people always ridicule us for who we are and what we stand for, and if they make fun of us often, especially after we make a mistake, those are the signs of an abusive environment that contributes to damaging and lowering our self-esteem. This tends to make us feel less confident in ourselves and our abilities, and makes us feel less secure in who we are and what we stand for. It's not just the environment we grow up in that affect our self-esteem, the work environments and other places we are in can also affect our self-esteem. Again, being in positive environments with people who try to encourage, support and accept us for who we are helps to raise self-esteem, while being in negative environments tends to lower it. Having high self-esteem allows us to concentrate better, work harder to achieve our goals, and allows us to reach our inner greatness to have the most fulfilling life possible. Conversely, having low self-esteem makes it much harder to concentrate, harder to complete the tasks we need to achieve our goals, and much harder to have a satisfying and fulfilling life. The best way to maintain high self-esteem is to be in a positive environment as much as possible. When this is not possible, it is important to spend time with yourself to recover from the negativity around you, and then relax and let the negativity out when you leave that environment. Doing this can help you boost and maintain high self-esteem, which will allow you to sharpen your focus, strengthen your resolve to complete the tasks you need to achieve your goals, make it more likely that you will achieve your inner greatness and be able to have the most satisfying and fulfilling life you can. Chapter 5: Overcoming Fears. Fear is defined as an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, may cause pain, or is a threat. Fear is an emotion that we would rather not have because we find it unpleasant, and it causes us to react in such a way that we often do not perform at our best because we cannot concentrate as well on the task at hand due to our fear. This does not mean that all fears are bad or negative. Throughout human history, fear has helped mankind survive and evolve. Cavemen feared dinosaurs because of the damage they could cause, therefore, cavemen avoided them as much as possible and devised weapons to try to defend themselves when a confrontation could not be avoided. Today, humans fear volcanoes, hurricanes, tornadoes and earthquakes because of the devastation they can cause and the loss of life these natural disasters can cause. As a result of that fear, humans have devised early detection methods, communication systems and evacuation strategies in an effort to try to minimize damage and avoid loss of life. Therefore, fear can help humanity to be better. However, when we have a fear, it often paralyzes us to the point that it is difficult to stay focused and perform at our best. We often worry about whatever is behind that fear, such as the fear of making a presentation in front of our clients, peers and/or superiors. While fear can help us improve in some ways, it often gets in our way of achieving the goals we want to achieve and reaching our inner greatness. That is why we must find ways to overcome our fears and not let them get in the way of our greatness and our best possible potential. First of all, we have to understand what is behind our fear, why we are afraid of whatever is behind that fear. This is really the only way to overcome that fear and its obstruction to our goals and inner greatness. Why we fear what we fear. For example, if we are afraid of giving presentations, it may be because we are afraid to present in front of a crowd. It may be because we think we are incapable of capturing their attention and gaining their approval while making the presentation. It may be because we are afraid of making a mistake. In fact, making mistakes is a key element behind most fears. We are afraid of making a mistake in our work, in the tasks we perform, and in everyday life. Society has largely taught us that making mistakes is not a good thing, and that it often has negative consequences. Consequently, we do our best to avoid them, but we are often afraid to make them because of the negative consequences that can result. Therefore, societal influence and pressure is a key reason why we fear mistakes, and a key reason why we have fears. We want to live up to the standards and expectations of others, therefore we try our best, but we often get nervous and fear not achieving what is expected of us. This constant fear stems from the fact that we want to belong, we want to be accepted by others for who we are and what we do. When we do not live up to these expectations, for example, if we make mistakes, we fear rejection by others and isolation from them as a consequence. Being rejected by others and being isolated by others is also behind many fears. For example, when we have to face a challenge by ourselves, we often feel a sense of fear and even panic because we are alone. So it is a challenge to stand up for a cause when one is one or a few against a larger group that opposes one's position. When we are rejected because of our status, our dress, our manners or for any other reason, we feel fearful and even dejected by that rejection and the resulting isolation. We feel that there is something wrong with us because we are rejected by other members of society due to our appearance, status, dress, mannerisms and/or other reasons. We are then more afraid to show our true selves, and often prefer to conform to the norm and blend in with others for fear of showing our true selves, for fear of rejection, isolation and even ridicule. As with mistakes and other types of fears, when we are afraid of what others will think of us and reject us and even ridicule or ignore us, it takes a toll on our focus, our self-confidence and even our self-esteem. It is harder to focus on the work we have to do to achieve our goals. It is harder to achieve great things when we are always afraid of what others think of us. It is more difficult to achieve our inner greatness and have the most satisfying and fulfilling life possible. Therefore, it is essential that we overcome these fears and put an end to them so that they do not get in the way of our goals, dreams and aspirations. How can we do this? First of all, you have to be aware of your exact fears. What exactly is it that you are afraid of? Is it the fear of making mistakes? Is it the fear of being rejected by others for who you are and what you stand for? Is it something else? You have to know exactly what it is that you fear before you can successfully address that fear. You have to be curious about what is causing your specific fear. You need to know exactly what thoughts and situations are causing that fear, exactly when you feel that fear, and your habitual response to that fear, including how it is impacting your life. Knowing and understanding your fear can help you know why you have it, as well as help you rationalize a way to end the fear. If you have a fear of public speaking, you can take some communication courses that allow you to give speeches in front of a small group to gain more confidence in public speaking and be able to do so in front of larger groups and in more critical situations. If you are afraid to make mistakes, reason that making mistakes helps you learn to improve as an individual. Virtually no invention or discovery was found the first time the creator tried to find it. He or she had to go through many trials and attempts, i.e., mistakes or failures, before finding the invention or discovery. This is further proof that mistakes are not bad in themselves, unlike what society usually tells us, but only if we learn from them and learn to improve ourselves by analyzing them and learning to avoid similar mistakes in the future. If you are afraid that others will reject you because of the way you look, the way you dress, your status or any other reason, think about why you care about their opinion. Does everyone feel that way about you? Most likely not. So seek out and relate to people who accept you for who you are and don't ridicule you. There's a good chance that the people who ridicule and reject you are not people you want to relate to and hang out with anyway, so don't feel like you're losing something because these people don't want to hang out with you. Look at it as a positive that you're not wasting your time with people who have a narrow view of what their friends have to be to hang out with them. In fact, when you have a fear, try to look at it in a positive way. For example, if you have a fear of public speaking, instead of fearing that you're going to make a mistake and do poorly, focus on the idea that you're going to speak well and that the speech will be a success. Many say that positive thinking leads to positive results. Often, when we think something is going to happen, most of the time it happens. Therefore, if we think we are going to misspeak and make mistakes, we are very likely to find a way for it to happen. However, if we are confident about the material we plan to speak about and think positively and confidently about the speech we are going to deliver, the chances are high that the speech will go well. When you have a fear, it is often helpful to acknowledge it in one or more ways, to bring it out into the open so that you can analyze it and find ways to overcome it. Talking to a family member or close friend can help you determine why you have that fear and how best to overcome it. A family member or close friend can reassure you, when you are afraid of something, that you can overcome the fear and do great things. For example, if you have a fear of speaking in front of a crowd, they can help you become more confident in public speaking by helping you with your speech and giving you tips on how to improve it. Many times, a family member or close friend can see how our fear is formed and why it is something that should not stand in our way of our goals, as they can assure us that we are stronger and better at the task we fear than we think we are. They can often rationally see our strengths and our abilities better than we can. When we fear being a bad public speaker, they can show us that we are much better than we think we are and point to past examples where we have spoken well in front of large groups. Another good way to recognize and address a fear is through journaling. By keeping a daily record of our thoughts and fears, we can really see what the fear is and what thoughts lead us to have it. We can also rationalize a way to overcome this fear and not let it get in the way of our goals and accomplishments. Sometimes reading about the type of fear we have or the situations we face and seeing what other people have done in those situations can help us see that there is a way to overcome our fear and not be hindered by it. This can be in the form of reading a book, whether biographical, motivational, inspirational, etc., reading blog posts from someone who is dealing or has dealt with a similar situation or a similar fear as you, etc. Sometimes, we may need professional help to overcome a fear we have that we can't resolve on our own through journaling or talking to family or friends. Sometimes, we need to see a therapist to talk about the challenges and issues we have that lead to that fear. Sometimes a therapist is needed to dig deeper into the issues that lead to that fear and help us understand why we have it and develop a plan to overcome it. There are also written down techniques you can try in an effort to overcome your fears. One such method is Emotional Freedom Techniques, or EFT. There are meridian points on your body that you can tap with your fingertips. Do this while thinking about a fear, and the power of that fear over you is greatly and sometimes completely reduced. Another well-known method that can help you overcome fear is the Sedona method. The Sedona method consists of you asking yourself a few simple questions while concentrating on your fear. This can help reduce and eliminate the power that fear has over you. Another method similar to the Sedona method in which you ask yourself questions while focusing on your fear is known as the work. Although this method does not work for everyone who faces fears, undergoing hypnosis is another option. Programming the right thoughts into your mind and eliminating negative thoughts and beliefs can help you find a way to overcome your fears and not let them hinder your focus, your work and your efforts to reach your goals and your best potential. As you can see, there are many ways to overcome fears, which are unpleasant emotions caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, may cause pain or is a threat. Fears are something we do not like to experience because they make us feel uncomfortable and cause us to lose focus on what we are doing, making us less efficient and effective in our daily lives. Although fear has helped humanity to evolve and become better, it can often lead us to paralysis and prevent us from doing the tasks necessary to achieve our goals and find our inner greatness. We have to really focus on why we fear something in order to understand the cause of our fear and how to go about overcoming it. Fears often occur because we are afraid of making mistakes. Society has taught us that making mistakes is bad and can have negative consequences. While that is true to some extent, it is also true that mistakes can be valuable experiences from which to learn and grow in order to improve as people. We also tend to fear rejection, isolation and ridicule from others, either because of the mistakes we make in front of them or because we are different from them in terms of status, hair, clothing, mannerisms, etc. Human beings feel the need to belong and do not want to be isolated from others because we are different. That is why, in many cases, people conform to others' way of thinking and even being in terms of similar hairstyles, clothing, mannerisms, etc. To get rid of fear and enable us to regain focus and effectiveness, we need to view fear in a positive light. We have to think positive instead of negative when we think about a fear. If we fear public speaking, instead of thinking that we will do poorly, let's think that the speech will be a success. It often helps to get the fear out in the open. Talking about it with friends or family, or journaling the associated thoughts, can help us learn why we have that fear and find ways to overcome it. Methods such as emotional freedom techniques, EFT, the Sedona method, and the work can provide relief and comfort from fear. EFT involves tapping on meridian points on the body to reduce fear, while the Sedona method and the work involve asking questions while focusing on our fear to help weaken its paralysis and power over us. Finally, a therapist may be necessary if the above methods do not work to reduce or eliminate fear to the point where we can function efficiently and effectively to achieve our best work and reach our greatest potential. Everyone has fears, but the power to overcome them is within our reach, and doing so is essential to achieving our best potential, reaching our inner greatness, and having the most satisfying and fulfilling life possible. Chapter 6: Becoming an Unstoppable Person for Action. In order to achieve the goals we want to reach and reach our inner greatness, we have to be willing to act towards our goals. Sir Isaac Newton's first law of motion states, "An object in motion remains in motion, and an object at rest remains at rest unless acted upon by a force." This means that unless we act toward our goals, we will get nowhere. We will not improve ourselves as individuals, we will not add to our legacy, we will not achieve the accomplishments we want to achieve, and we will not achieve our inner greatness unless we act upon it. Thinking about it alone won't do it. Yes, thinking can help lay the groundwork for how we can accomplish something, but unless we actually do the steps to make it happen, it's not going to happen. The force that Newton talks about in his first law of motion has to be us if we want to progress as individuals and in this life. Unfortunately, many people fall short when it comes to taking action to achieve their goals and reach the achievements they desire. There are many reasons why they stop. One of the most common reasons is that they don't believe they are capable of achieving those goals. They think they are not good enough, that those who have done it have some special skill or knowledge that they lack. As a result, they hesitate and don't do the actions or do them haphazardly and without any confidence because they believe they don't have the skills or the ability to achieve what successful people have achieved or are achieving. The truth is that the people who have achieved and are achieving their goals are no more special than you. They have no magical power or ability to achieve what they have achieved. The only thing they are willing to do that you and others don't have is the willingness to take action to achieve the goals they want to achieve. Another common reason is that it takes too much time and too much effort. Because of this, most people procrastinate on difficult activities. They often say, "I'll get to it tomorrow." But they usually don't, saying they will get to it the next day. This pattern will continue until they put off doing those difficult and important tasks until they can no longer put them off, or put them off until eternity and never complete them if they can afford to do so. Most worthwhile goals usually require a good deal of time and effort to achieve. However, the reason you and others can't achieve those goals when others can is because they were willing to put in that time and effort. In our fast-paced society today, many people want instant fame, instant wealth, instant power. However, that is not realistic in the vast majority of cases. Those who have the fame, the wealth, the power, did not get it overnight, even though the media sometimes implies that they did. The point is that it took those successful people a lot of time and work to get to where they are today, and likewise, it will take you a similar amount of time and effort to achieve your goals. There is no way around it. The only question is when you are going to start doing the tasks necessary to achieve those goals. Again, it all comes down to taking action. Thoughts, wishes, desires, wishes won't get the job done. You must actually do the steps necessary to accomplish the tasks necessary to achieve those goals. there is simply no other way to do it, so delaying the action necessary to achieve those goals and make those dreams come true is only delaying yourself from the success, fame, fortune, power and recognition you are seeking. Another common reason people fail to act is because they are afraid of making mistakes. They will often want to overanalyze the situation, trying to get more information about the situation so they can improve their response and not make a mistake and/or make things worse. This can often lead people to procrastinate and put off tasks in an effort to get more information to provide a better solution or answer. The truth is that most successful people make a lot of mistakes throughout their lives to get to where they are today. They didn't succeed in their fields on the first try, there were many failures along the way. The only reason they turned those failures into one or more successes is because they kept working toward their goals, kept taking action and doing what it took to make that goal a reality. It is said that out of every 10 attempts to do something well, only 1 out of 10 succeeds. That means that 9 times out of 10, the project is a failure. However, the successful person doesn't stop at failure, but sees it as an opportunity to grow and learn what doesn't work so they can put more effort into a method that does work to achieve their goal. This is what successful people do to realize their dreams and aspirations, and you can do the same. The bottom line is that successful people keep working, keep acting. You must do the same to achieve the goals and success you want to achieve. There are no shortcuts. There may be ways to speed up the work, especially by learning from others who have come before you, but if you expect instant wealth, instant fame, instant power without doing any work, that is not going to happen. Therefore, you have to become a constant and unstoppable person in action to realize your dreams and aspirations, as well as to achieve the inner greatness within you. Achieving any of them will not be easy, and it will not happen overnight. You must work on them continuously to succeed. That is why it is essential that you become an unstoppable person for action. One of the best ways to become an unstoppable action taker is to simply step up and perform the action or task that needs to be done. This does not mean not analyzing and preparing for the task, but when you have done enough analysis and preparation, you have to go and do the task. There comes a time when analysis and preparation have diminishing returns. At a particular point in time, you can't analyze any more to get more information about what you need to do, and you can't prepare any more after a particular period. It is at this point that you must complete the task that needs to be completed. Remember that action is what leads you to your goals and achievements, to your success and to your inner greatness. Thinking about it, analyzing the situation, preparing for the moment will not lead you to the goals and achievements, to the success and inner greatness, to the fame, fortune and recognition you desire. Even if your action does not lead to the desired result, if the task you have performed does not work as you expected, at least you have taken the necessary step to get closer to your goal. If a mistake occurs, analyze it for the necessary time, find out how it occurred and what caused it, then learn how to avoid it and perform the action again, using the information you learned when you first performed the task. Every time you make a mistake, you learn what not to do to complete the task and achieve the goal you have set for yourself. Therefore, you should not be afraid of mistakes and should not let them prevent you from completing the necessary tasks in a timely manner. Making mistakes by doing the necessary tasks is better than never doing the tasks in an effort to avoid mistakes, because with the latter you will never achieve any goal, nor will you achieve your inner greatness. One way to motivate yourself to consistently take action is to tell others what you are going to do before you do it. By telling others what you are going to do, you are essentially committing yourself to the task you want to complete. If you don't complete the task as you said you would, you will disappoint others by not completing it, and then you will have to face disappointment and/or ridicule from them when you see them the next time and have to tell them you didn't do what you said you were going to do. Therefore, you will want to take the necessary steps to complete the action before you see the people you told about the action again. Even if you don't do the task as well as you thought you would, at least you have tried to accomplish it, which means you have done the steps necessary to complete the task. If you're not around other people that often, it can be hard to motivate yourself to take action. However, you often have to motivate yourself to take action, as there will not always be people around to encourage you to take action and follow your dreams and goals. Therefore, you must also tell yourself what you are going to achieve. It is often helpful to write down those goals and accomplishments on paper, in a journal and/or in a text or spreadsheet file, so that you also hold yourself accountable for taking action to achieve your goals. While you may not experience the disappointment you would have in telling others in writing, you are still making a record of what you are going to do, and it is very likely that you will find yourself with this statement of what you are going to do. If you do not act and do not complete the task you stated you would do, then a part of your mind will admonish you for not keeping your word. A pit in your stomach will scold you for not doing the action you were going to do when you wrote it down. Therefore, there will still be negative consequences if you write down your tasks and goals, since you are putting on record what you are going to do, and you will not be a person of your word if you do not act as you stated you would. Another way to help yourself take more action is to not put so much emphasis or importance on the task or action you plan to do. When we make tasks or actions too big in our minds, we often have a tendency to become paralyzed about doing them. As a result, we will procrastinate and make excuses as to why we can't do the action. If we take a deep breath and think that we can do the task or action we set out to do, we will be more likely to take the necessary steps to complete the task or action in a timely manner, thus achieving our goals and our inner greatness much sooner. To-do lists often help us to act more consistently. However, there is one important step you must take when making to-do lists. You should never make them too big. It is best to make them with no more than 2 or 3 items at most. The reason is that, if you put 5, 10, 20 items on that list, you're going to look at it and think, that's a big list and a lot of actions to handle. Your brain will start thinking about all those actions at once. You will start to slow down and paralyze yourself because you are thinking about everything you have to do. If you keep the to-do list short, you will be much more likely to keep performing the actions and tasks necessary to complete the items on that short to-do list. Then, once you have completed the items on that short list of tasks, write down 2 or 3 more items on another short list of tasks and repeat the process. So, you have learned that taking action is the only way you are going to achieve the goals and accomplishments you want to achieve, and it is the only way you are going to achieve the inner greatness you want to achieve. In our fast-paced society today, people want shortcuts that will give them instant fame, wealth and power, but those shortcuts do not exist. Shortcuts of prior knowledge in a field or task may be available to help you reduce the time it takes you to reach your ultimate goal, but not to bring you instant success and fame. Those don't exist. Instead, you have to be willing to take action. This doesn't mean thinking about something, analyzing something, preparing for something. While those activities have their place in getting something right, at a certain point, when you can't get anything else out of analysis and preparation, you have to do the task you set out to do. Even if the action doesn't go as well as you had hoped, you will have learned valuable information about what not to do to achieve your goals and aspirations. Many people hesitate to take action because they are afraid of making mistakes, although even the most successful people make many mistakes before they find success. Many people hesitate to take action because it is too difficult and will take too long, but as said, the only way to succeed is through action, and those successful people had to take a lot of action to succeed and be where they are now. Among the ways to motivate yourself is to tell others what you plan to do. If you don't take action, when you see them again you will have to experience disappointment and ridicule from them for not doing what you said you would do. You can also tell yourself what you plan to do by writing it down on paper, in a journal, or in a text file or spreadsheet. Every time you see your goal or task written down and you haven't completed it, a stomachache and a negative thought will pop into your mind. Using to-do lists can be useful for taking action, but only if they are short, 2 or 3 item lists. If you make longer to-do lists, you will look at the list and become paralyzed because your brain will start thinking about all the actions you need to complete. If you keep the to-do list, you will be much more likely to take action and complete the tasks necessary to finish the tasks on your to-do list. You can then create a new to-do list with 2 or 3 items, complete them and repeat the process. The only way to achieve your goals and the success you desire is to consistently take action. There is no other way to do it. Delaying taking action will only lead to it taking you longer to reach the goals, success and inner greatness you want to achieve. Therefore, the sooner you start taking action towards your goals, the sooner you will experience the success and inner greatness you want to achieve. Chapter 7: Harnessing the Power of Thoughts. To achieve our objectives and aspirations, we have to be willing to work to complete the tasks and actions necessary to achieve those objectives and aspirations. We have to take action to achieve our goals. However, the power of thought comes into play because it often drives us to take the actions necessary to achieve our goals. It gives us the incentive to work harder and longer to achieve those goals. Of course, we find it much easier to achieve our goals and aspirations when we are confident that we can do so and we have positive thoughts, not negative ones. We, as human beings, have the power of our minds. Our minds are what give us the ability to act constructively to achieve our objectives and our goals. Without our minds and our thoughts, we would have no incentive to do the tasks we need to do to achieve our goals. In fact, we would have no goals, we would be acting on instinct alone. We would be doing things that do not lead to any long-term goal, nor achieve any long-term aspiration, nor bring forth our inner greatness. Our mind and our thoughts give us the goals we want to achieve, as well as giving us a sense of clarity and purpose to achieve the goals we want to achieve. Unfortunately, we don't only have positive thoughts, we also have negative thoughts. Negative thoughts can come to our mind just as easily as positive ones, and it almost seems that sometimes negative thoughts can come to our mind more easily than positive ones. This may be because we often hear about bad news on TV and the internet more than good news. It may be because we don't want to be too confident or comfortable in the task we are trying to accomplish, so we tend to think about what can go wrong and why the task or situation will go wrong rather than why it will go right. When we have negative thoughts, they play with our psyche and our self-esteem to the point that we begin to doubt ourselves, even our abilities to perform the task at a high level. We begin to question whether we can achieve the goal we have set for ourselves. Many times, it is difficult to get rid of these negative thoughts once we have them. We start to dwell on them and worry about them, which can cause us to lose focus on the task at hand and make it more likely that we will not perform the task at the high level that we expect and that may be necessary to achieve the goal we want to achieve. What we need to do is recognize that negative thoughts and feelings are part of our biology. They are as much a part of our brain as positive thoughts. In fact, in 1872, Charles Darwin proposed the theory that emotions have an evolutionary history that can be traced across cultures and species. Furthermore, they are not a distraction, but are an evolution that helps us communicate with other people. Therefore, negative thoughts and feelings are not necessarily bad if we use them properly. The big problem most people have with negative thoughts and feelings is that they become so consumed by them that they do one of two things. One thing they try to do is to suppress the negative feelings, thoughts, and ignore them, proclaiming the positive thoughts to such an extent as a way of ignoring the negative thoughts or feelings. The second thing they do is that they begin to believe the negative thoughts or feelings as fact. As Darwin stated, negative thoughts actually have a place in our evolutionary history because they have helped us evolve and survive as a species. Our negative thoughts have caused us to prepare for disasters and catastrophes for which we otherwise would not have been prepared. When we have a negative thought, we need to move away from it and not try to drown it out with the opposing positive thought or take the negative thought as fact. For example, if we think that we are not capable of doing the job or task we want to do, we should not automatically counter with "I am very capable of doing this job or task," nor should we believe that we cannot do the job or task. Instead, we need to look at why we have that negative thought. When we have a negative thought, it is a sign or indication that we feel a threat to one of our core values, a value that we hold dear and that we feel defines us. In this case, it would be the core value of working hard and achieving our goals. If we have the negative thought that we are not up to the task at hand, the negative thought is reminding us that we cannot rest on our laurels or our reputation and think we can do the job haphazardly and without concentrated effort. We need to refocus our efforts and do the best job we can to live up to our core value of being a hard worker and doing what it takes to complete the necessary tasks. Therefore, having a negative thought is not necessarily a bad thing if we use it properly. Unfortunately, however, as mentioned, many people take the wrong approach with negative thoughts and believe them to be true or try to overwhelm them with positive thoughts, which doesn't really solve the problem of where the negative thought came from in the first place. Many people, and even experts, think that if you focus on positive thoughts, you will erase the negative thought that came to your mind. In reality, all you are doing is covering up the negative thought, like covering an infection with a band-aid, which may heal the wound, but does not stop the infection from spreading. The same goes for negative thoughts. You have to learn why you had the negative thought in the first place and address the cause behind the thought itself before you can overcome it and improve as a person. Similarly, people who think the negative thought is real, such as "I am not capable of completing this task at a high level," will do themselves a disservice because they will begin to take actions that support that negative thought. For example, they will not try as hard to complete the task, leading them to claim that they are not skilled enough to perform it. As mentioned above, your confidence in your abilities will decrease because you will begin to believe that the negative thinking is true. You must understand your negative thoughts and how they relate to your core values in order to soften those thoughts and actually allow positive thoughts to enter your mind and increase your self-confidence. Only then can the negative thoughts serve you and inspire you to bring about positive changes that align with your core values. For example, if we believe that we are not capable of performing a task at a high level, instead of thinking the exact opposite and believing that we are certainly capable of performing the task at a high level, we need to realize that we value being a hard worker and always strive to do the best job possible. If we have the negative thought that we are not capable of performing a task at a high level, it is a reminder of our core values to always work hard and strive to do the best job possible. This is when the negative thought actually becomes a positive influence on our actions, and when the negative thought is actually remedied or resolved. Positive thoughts can also give us the ability to do great things. When we set a thought in our mind to accomplish something, we are actually setting a goal that we want to achieve. We have a positive idea in our mind, so we create a plan to achieve that idea. For example, if we have the idea of wanting to become a doctor to cure the diseases of the world, we will begin to focus our mind on how we can achieve that goal. We will want to research everything we can to become a doctor. We will research what courses we need to take to become a doctor. We will research the best institutions and universities to give us the best chance of becoming a reputable and employed physician. We will seek out doctors and medical students who are knowledgeable about what courses to take, how to prepare for a career in medicine, etc. All of our actions will be guided by the positive thought we have of wanting to become doctors to cure the sick of the world. As with the negative thoughts above, our values help guide our thoughts. If we have the desire to heal the sick by becoming a doctor, our values of being compassionate and wanting to do everything we can to help others are the key to the positive thought of wanting to become a doctor. Then, all of our thoughts and actions will go toward that goal of becoming a doctor because we have the desire to heal the sick. It is important to control your thoughts when you are worried about something. When you start worrying about something, it can seem like your mind goes out of control and you come up with all kinds of thoughts, usually negative ones, which can often seem realistic even though they are not. For example, if you are worried about an upcoming exam and fear that you are not prepared to score well, your mind will start to create scenarios in which not only will you not do well on the exam, but bad consequences will occur. For example, you may start thinking that you are going to fail the course, which will lead to you not getting your degree, which will prevent you from achieving your goal, etc. It is quite easy for one worrying or negative thought to snowball into several worrying or negative thoughts. As described above, it is important to slow down, separate yourself from the negative thoughts by walking away from them and really analyzing why you are having that negative thought. In this case, the negative thought or thoughts are because you value a high degree of education, you value hard work, and you value contributing to society. To do that, you need to get a degree, get a high-quality, well-paying occupation, and be good at that occupation. Negative thoughts are a reminder that you need to strive for that education and do everything you can to get that degree. The negative thoughts should not be seen as a prelude that you are going to fail the course, you are not going to get the degree, you are not going to get a position in your occupation, you are not going to contribute to society, etc. Therefore, you should not start panicking or worrying about some important task or event. Instead, you should take a step back and see what the negative thinking is reminding you of in terms of your core values, and then work toward the goal. You should never see the negative thought as a prelude to what is to come. If you see what the negative thought is reminding you of in terms of your core values, you will be able to use the negative thoughts to your own advantage to be able to achieve more of your goals and the inner greatness within you. So, you have learned that human beings have the power of our minds and our thoughts. Our thoughts are what give us the incentive to achieve our dreams and our aspirations. In fact, we wouldn't even have our goals without our thoughts, we would be functioning on instinct alone without our thoughts. Our thoughts help drive us toward the actions we need to complete to reach our goals and find our inner greatness. You have learned that human beings have both positive and negative thoughts. When it comes to our positive thoughts, they help us form a goal in our mind based on our values, which then drive us toward the actions we need to take to accomplish that goal. For example, if we want to be a doctor because we want to heal the sick, our core values include compassion and our willingness and desire to help those in need. Therefore, our positive thoughts lead us to the goal we want to achieve, as well as formulate the plan or actions we need to take to achieve that goal that aligns with our core values. Negative thoughts are more complicated. Many people, and even experts, think that if we simply overwhelm those negative thoughts with positive thoughts, our mental state will be fine and we will come back stronger than ever and more willing to pursue our goals. However, covering negative thoughts with positive thoughts is like covering an infected wound with a bandage. It does not solve the real problem. Regarding negative thoughts and emotions, we learned from Darwin that they are not a distraction, but a way to communicate with other people. We also learned that negative thoughts and emotions have helped humanity improve itself, preparing for situations and catastrophes for which we otherwise would not have prepared or survived. Many people try to squash negative thoughts with the exact opposite positive thinking or begin to believe that negative thinking is true. Instead, we must separate ourselves from the negative thought and determine why the negative thought has occurred. It is trying to remind us of our core values. For example, if we fear not measuring up to a task, the negative thought is reminding us of our core values of valuing hard work and doing everything possible to achieve our goals. Negative thinking is there to remind us not to take on the task half-heartedly and assume we will do it to a high standard, but to really focus on the task and make sure we do it to a high standard. Therefore, negative thoughts can allow us to review our core values and make sure that we are living up to them, not taking tasks for granted and assuming that we will get the job done, but actually living up to our core values with every action we take. This is how negative thoughts can help us achieve more goals and achieve our inner greatness, just as positive thoughts can also help us achieve more goals and our inner greatness. If we learn to use the power of our thoughts, both positive and negative, we will have the ability to continuously perform the tasks we need to achieve our goals, reach our greatest potential and expose the inner greatness within us. Chapter 8: Reprogramming Your Future Self. We all want to succeed in life. We want to succeed in the goals we want to achieve, we want to find happiness in what we do and who we are with, we want to be accepted for who we are and what we stand for, and we want to be able to reach our best possible potential. All of us want this. Unfortunately, not everyone reaches this supreme state and achieves everything in life. Some will say that they just weren't meant to, but in many cases, it's because we settle for less and are not willing to go the extra mile to make all of our dreams and desires come true. Therefore, we have to be willing to go the extra mile and not settle for less. One of the main reasons people settle for less is because they think they can't get everything they want in life. They think it is beyond their reach, beyond realistic expectations. However, there are people who do reach this state of achieving what they wanted in terms of goals, accomplishments and success, as well as unlocking their inner greatness and being accepted for who they are. Most people who do not reach this state think that the people who do reach this state were special in some way, had some kind of special ability or power, or were simply privileged with the wealth, resources and opportunities that allowed them to reach this state. However, the truth is that you have to have the mindset to reach this state. It's not really about wealth and resources, it's about taking positive actions towards your goals and doing them consistently throughout your life, so that you make great progress towards your goals and actually achieve them. What many people don't do is actually plan and act on their goals. Too often, they do certain activities randomly, thinking they are getting closer to their goals when, in fact, they are not. They never plan ahead and never really analyze the goals they have in mind to figure out the best and most effective way to achieve them. As a result, they often take longer than necessary to reach the goal they have in mind, they only achieve a lesser goal that they accept as the best they could do, or they fail to reach the goal and rationalize it as if it was meant to be or as if the alternative goal they reach is better for them in the long run. What you have to do to achieve all the goals and aspirations you have is to reprogram your mind and your focus to achieve your goals so that you have the best chance of achieving all those goals, reaching your greatest potential and unleashing the inner greatness that you have. First of all, you have to convince yourself that you really are capable and worthy of achieving all that success you desire. There is nothing wrong with wanting to achieve success. Not only does it benefit you and your loved ones, but it is also likely to benefit society as a whole. In addition, you will reach your full potential as a capable human being, using your body and mind to achieve the goals you have set for yourself. Some people think that they shouldn't strive for success because they believe they don't deserve to be successful or that it's wrong to be successful and that they should be content to maintain the status quo that previous generations of their family have had. The truth is that they are just as capable as any other human being, even those who have found their greatest success and achieved their greatest goal. Also, humanity has continued to evolve as a species, it continues to strive to improve itself, so there is nothing wrong with trying to strive and become something more than what you or previous generations are, because that is what the human species has been doing since it came into existence. Secondly, you need to be in an environment that supports your efforts to improve and achieve your goals. As human beings, it is much easier to stay focused on the difficult and challenging tasks we have to complete to achieve our goals if we are in a supportive environment that reinforces our self-esteem and our confidence in our abilities. If we are constantly ridiculed and criticized for our actions, our thoughts and our beliefs, it will dent our self-esteem and our self-confidence to the point that we will not have the inspiration and drive to keep going. Striving to achieve our goals, only to end up giving up on them and settling for less. Therefore, from our home environment to our work environment to other environments, such as the gym, the area we live in, etc., we need to be in positive, reinforcing environments that accept us for who we are and what we stand for, as well as encourage us to keep striving for our goals when the road is difficult and we begin to lose hope and confidence in our ability to achieve those goals. We are more likely to do a better job and concentrate better on our work when we are in positive environments. When we are in negative environments, our concentration suffers, our self-confidence suffers, and our ability to perform at a high level suffers. It is vital that we spend as little time as possible in such environments. If we cannot escape a negative environment immediately, we must learn to take breaks from negativity and to relax and focus on positive thoughts and actions when we can finally escape the negative environment. If you have grown up in a negative environment, it is important to reprogram your brain by being in positive environments and by communicating and associating with people who have positive opinions and thoughts. This is a critical way to reprogram your brain. Also, if you have children, you should provide them with a positive environment to avoid the negative environment you grew up in. You should not criticize your children for making mistakes, as they can be valuable learning tools if they learn what the mistake was, how it was made, and ways to avoid it in the future. You should also accept your children for who they are, including their unique personalities and talents. This positive environment can help them reach their full potential and achieve the goals and dreams they want to achieve, as well as achieve their inner greatness. Mistakes are a major obstacle for people who want to achieve their goals and dreams. Too often, many people believe that mistakes should be avoided, largely because they often hear on the news how a mistake created a crisis or a negative consequence. While it is true that mistakes can be negative, they can actually be a positive teaching tool if used properly. If a mistake is made, it is important to learn from it, including what it consisted of, how it was made, and the actions that need to be taken to ensure that the same or a similar mistake is not repeated. We have to accept the fact that mistakes are going to happen, sometimes they are unavoidable. Therefore, we have to turn those events into opportunities to grow and improve. By doing this, we have a better chance of achieving all the goals we want to achieve in life, as well as achieving our inner greatness. By learning from mistakes, we are improving our skill set for the challenges we will face in the future, challenges that we can better handle because of the mistakes we have made in the past. Furthermore, most mistakes do not cause irreparable damage. Therefore, most mistakes can be recovered from. Unfortunately, society has caused many of us to have the mindset that mistakes must be avoided at all costs or dire consequences will result. We often have that same philosophy when it comes to our jobs. If we make a mistake, we fear losing our job and being replaced by someone else who does not make mistakes. However, as just stated, all people make mistakes. The key is to learn from those mistakes and improve yourself as an individual so that you are better able to handle the challenges of the future with more ease and can be more productive in achieving your goals and inner greatness. Life often throws unexpected challenges at us. They can be the unexpected loss of a loved one, a house fire, etc. These types of challenges often come unexpectedly, with little time to prepare and react. These situations can cause us to use the skills we have learned in the past, even from mistakes we have made, to help us cope with these difficult situations and grow as people. Often, these situations can help us become stronger and more willing and able to strive for our goals and achieve our inner greatness if we are willing to take the right approach to these situations. We should not lament the fact that these situations happen to us, asking, "Why me?" Instead, we should take the opportunity to gain more knowledge about ourselves and to see how we can handle that situation and grow from the experience. You also have to be willing to take action to achieve the goals you want to achieve. Planning, analysis, and preparation help you prepare, but when it gets to the point of diminishing returns where planning, analysis, and preparation do not bring you any advantage or chance of success, you have to take action. Action is what leads to achieving goals. Planning, analysis, and preparation will not. Therefore, you have to convince yourself that you must continually take action, and you must also be willing to take action on tasks that are outside your comfort zone. These are tasks that are not the usual ones you are used to doing every day. Each of these tasks can help you grow as an individual and improve your skill set for future challenges. Also, if you make mistakes while learning this new skill, you will grow from the experience because mistakes can be valuable learning tools if used properly. It is important to always evaluate what you are doing in your life from time to time to see if they are really helping you achieve your goals. If you check and see that your actions are not really helping you achieve your goals, then you need to take the plunge and change what you are doing. Again, this involves action. You can analyze and evaluate what you are doing, but until you actually choose and act to change it, nothing is going to change, and your life will continue to involve actions that will not really help you achieve the goals you want to achieve. So, you have learned that we all have goals, dreams, and aspirations that we want to achieve in life, but while some of us achieve those goals and unlock our inner greatness, many of us don't for various reasons. Some will say that it was simply not our destiny to achieve everything we wanted, but in these cases, we are only settling for less and are not doing our best to realize all of our goals, dreams and aspirations. They do not believe that they can get everything they want out of life because they believe that those who do have some special knowledge or power that allows them to do so, while they themselves do not have that special knowledge or power to do the same. The truth is that these successful people have no more knowledge or power than those who do not achieve their dreams and goals. The only real difference between the two groups is that the former are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. They are willing to act and do what is necessary and to keep doing it until they achieve the goals they have set for themselves. Many people also complain that some goals are too difficult and take too long to achieve. They think that those who have achieved their goals had some shortcut that allowed them to achieve them. The truth is that all those successful people did not achieve their success overnight. It took them months and often years of continuous hard work and effort to achieve the success they have achieved. In fact, most worthwhile goals require a great deal of time and dedicated effort to achieve. There are no shortcuts. There may be a shortcut in terms of what you need to learn to achieve your success because someone else worked on the situation before you, but you're not going to achieve instant fame, fortune, power and recognition overnight. Life doesn't work that way, and expecting it to do so will only leave you hugely disappointed and dent your self-confidence and self-esteem to the point where it will be even harder to strive to achieve your goals. Therefore, learn the mindset that all remarkable goals and accomplishments take time to achieve. As the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, and your legacy and inner greatness will not be achieved overnight or in a short period of time. To achieve your goals and objectives in the shortest time possible, you need to have a plan and execute it to the best of your ability. This is where planning, analysis and preparation play an important role in reaching your goals, ensuring that you do the best possible actions to reach your goals as quickly as possible. However, when you have done enough planning, analysis and preparation to get ready for the task at hand, you have to ACT and DO the tasks to make progress and achieve your goals. This is how you achieve success, reach your greatest potential and unlock your inner greatness. Being in an encouraging and supportive environment, especially at times when your self-esteem and self-confidence are not as high as usual, is quite helpful in enabling you to achieve your goals. It is much more difficult to achieve your goals and succeed when you find yourself in a negative environment where people dislike you, ridicule you and even try to sabotage your success. It is best to avoid such environments whenever possible. When this is not possible, you need to take breaks from that negative environment to be alone and restore your self-confidence and self-esteem by relaxing with music, meditation, yoga, exercise and other similar methods after escaping from that environment. Therefore, you need to reprogram your future self to continually take action. No, the path to achieving your goals probably won't be easy, and it won't be quick, but it can be done. Successful people who have achieved and are achieving their goals have no special power or ability over you. They were simply willing to keep taking action to achieve their goals. You have the same ability, being that you are just as human as they are. By doing proper planning, analysis and preparation, and then acting on the information you have gained, you will achieve many more goals and reach your greatest potential, leading to a more satisfying and fulfilling life and unlocking your inner greatness that can benefit you and the whole world.